Okay, let's get started. My name is Michel Penke. I'm editor of Gründerszene, and I'm sitting here next to Cecil and Karl and Karl Bagusat, the founders of PlusPeter. The business model of PlusPeter, as already mentioned, is that, well, actually you print. Your special audience, which are students, can send the scripts or the lecture notes to you, and you print them for free. And the special thing is that you add ads. That's the business model.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where did you get that very simple idea?
So, I mean, yeah, it is kind of the business model. So me and Charlie, we both studied abroad in America. So we had the comparison from Europe. He studied in Spain, I studied in Germany. And while we were in America, we had the same experience. We saw that basically students in America knew way better what they want to do after university. They were in contact with companies. We had like chances to talk to CEOs or like to different kind of people all over university. And said, okay, like why are we in Europe just numbers without being connected to the world or to our future?
Yeah, so same experience also when I was in the US was that most people I met there actually already had their top 3 companies in mind that they want to work for one day, which I thought was incredibly impressive because whenever you ask someone in Germany, the companies that come to their mind are mostly companies where they were consumers or they used their services before. So especially B2B companies had big issues trying to reach students and also be attractive as a potential employer one day.
Okay, so you took this, let's call it the US approach of companies and universities interacting much more than Germany. Yeah. You took that approach to Germany, and now you print ads next to Kant, Koch, and so on.
I mean, kind of like, so the idea was, okay, we said, okay, like now we want to create the same system in Europe. And we said, okay, like how can we connect to students? And we had to find a way to basically go past university because it's so old and so like just Thomas talked about it. Like you have like really old traditional universities, and you can't get in contact with like the people who decide something. Said okay, and we should like basically go past the university, and we had to find an idea that is so simple that helps us to straight get thousands of students on our platform. Said okay, like what does a student have or doesn't have? Yeah? He doesn't have any money, so we said, okay, we have to give him something for free, something that is such a no-brainer. And we came up with the idea saying, okay, to get in contact with them, probably it makes sense to print for free. In return, we get data, and that's basically the business model behind it, because it's not just placing ads, it's more about we know who they are, what they're studying, what semester they're in. For like each free print, we ask different questions, like, are you living on your own? Do you see yourself working for a company outside of Europe? Do you speak like different languages? And like this helps us to understand who the student is, to understand like his profile, and then step by step now we're creating the platform on top. So basically the print product is just a login. That's how we get the students on our platform. We have like after like 1.5 years, like almost 2 years now, 200,000 users on our platform, and now we create step by step like different products. We have like the job board, for instance.
Yeah, but this makes your ads more valuable because you can make some micro-targeting.
Exactly. So the really attractive thing for companies are that they have close to no scatter losses, because they have the option of actually selecting what type of student they want. So I want a female engineering student in the south of Germany who's in their final semester. So they can target them, and especially, and that's the most important part of it, communicate in a very specific way. So the viewer or the student actually knows that this ad was meant for them, and they know that this company is actually looking for their profile, and it's not just basically for any engineering student.
Okay, but let me get this straight. You're actually inviting companies to, let's call it the sacred ground of studying and learning, which is something we usually avoid in Germany. Is it actually a good thing to let all the companies in?
Well, it delivers use to the student. It's a win-win on both sides, because the student normally has to pay for something, just as the whole convenience issue of going to a printout store, standing in line, half of the machines not properly working, then also the binding that is not, you know, it's a chaos. So we deliver convenience because it just arrives in the letterbox, so they don't even have to be home. And they still get their printout materials. They can use it once a month. And next to the ads, we have loads of different areas where we deliver entertainment, so little Sudokus or little trivia, little stuff, you know, just to kind of get your mind off studying whenever you've studied sufficiently. So we're really trying to make sure that the companies have a very attractive and platform for students, and students feel that they're addressed in the right way they want to be addressed by companies.
Okay, and what about evil companies? Let's say Heckler and Koch wants to
No.
sell some ads
No,
looking
we-
for mathematicians and engineers.
we
Would you
wouldn't.
sell ads to
No,
them?
no, we would never do that.
No.
I mean, Henkel and Koch, if they are looking for engineering students, for instance, in terms of branding their employer brand, we would do that, but we would never like print any, I don't know, like war material, stuff like that.
Okay.
Obviously not.
Well, I remember a claim someone dropped earlier. I think it was, "Don't be evil, might fit for you." Okay, let's get back to the time when you guys were studying in the United States. How did it all start? What happened? Have you been bored so that you started a company instead of continuing your study? Or how did it happen?
So we knew each other from before, like through like mutual friends. And like one day, Charlie came to New York. I was studying in New York. He was studying in Texas, and we thought about different ideas. And we knew like from the beginning that we wanted to create something. And finally, before we started PlusPeter or PrintPeter, how it was called just until 2 months ago, we started another business. It was like a photo challenging app, and that's how we like came into this whole entrepreneurial society or stuff. And like, at the end of the day, it's something I think both of us knew from the first day on, that we actually want to create our own business, our own platform.
So you have been friends earlier in Germany, and you decided that you want to
Yeah.
start a company. You went to the United States, and then you actually started
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
We looked for an idea.
Yeah.
You actually look for it.
We looked for an idea, and especially, I mean, the thing is, like, we want to change something. And especially for students, like, it's such an interesting target group, and we've always thought about, like, well, what could we change for students, yeah? And that's what we're doing right now, changing the way they're going to learn to make it more efficient. But that was basically the whole, the beginning of us working together, that we said, okay, we need to find something that basically isn't off the market so far, but it could change something like what we did. Yeah.
Did you find anything other? Anything you thought about?
We had plenty of ideas. As I said, like, we did like photos.
Tell us, which other companies would you have founded if it wasn't PlusPeter?
Well, I mean, we started off with an app which kind of went in the other direction. So when we were sitting down, one of the most important things was basically understanding where is a need that we think that we can find an easy solution for. And one of the ones was an entertainment app where it was the need for challenging and instant gratification, the way that social networks are kind of moving these days. But then PlusPeter came along as an idea, and in I think 1.5 weeks, the product was online and we started printing, so it went incredibly quick. And I think that's also the reason why the product took off so quickly, is because it was just able to be set up that quickly. And right away, we were faced with tasks of actually maintaining the product, delivering the service to students, having a lot of feedback of students in order to make sure that the service is exactly what students need in the end of the day. So
it's probably like the value proposition that was so. I mean, our product in the beginning, like PrintPeter, was such a no-brainer, and like within days we had like thousands of users, and that basically hooked us to say, okay, like we have to do it. That is basically something. It helps students, and that's like how we decided to take this path instead of doing our social photo challenging app.
Okay, did you test PrintPeter's business model? Did you ask your friends, do you want to script for free, or what was the approach?
Obviously one of the most important things is that you actually develop a product with the users. If you show things to friends like logo designs or whatever, half the people will always say it's great, you know, and you can't really live off that feedback. So, the product was set up very quickly, and then we did one flyer action in front of one university in Berlin, and within the first day, and that was a time where all the orders were actually handled manually by me, we had more than 1,000 orders, so I was spending my whole night doing that, and then afterwards, of course, never. And so yeah, right away we realized there's a lot going on, and we definitely got an idea that.
But I mean, it was kind of a risk because we had no funding, and we had like printing costs from second one on. Like, imagine like 1,000 printouts costs like each print, I don't know, €5 in the beginning. We had no cash at all, but like we had the proof that we had a product that is going to work. So with this proof and like, I don't know, 25,000 euros, basically not on our bank account, we went to investors and asked them, like, guys, you see, we have a proof, we have a product that works. Do you give us some money to make it big? And then we found, I don't know, for instance, Michel, who helped us in the beginning to start our idea. And now we have already just closed our second funding round last week, and a third actually, and it worked out. But yeah, in the beginning was definitely a risk we took.
But how did you do it? If you have just 25,000 bucks, how did you do it?
I mean, I think we knew.
Did you get your first funding after 3 weeks or what?
Well, after 2 months, more or less, yeah. And then, I mean, we had a few advertisers in the product, but especially through the connections that we had. So minimal revenue was made, but yeah, I don't know. We just went for the risk and then delivered the case.
We showed within 4 weeks that we have users and that we make revenue with it. And it is very profitable for some users. That also obviously helped us that we basically already had a proof. Said we need a little bit of cash, and then we can take off, and it worked out.
So if I get you right, the idea for PlusPeter, sorry, was originally yours, yeah? Mm. Why did you come back to Germany? Why did you start up here in Germany? Because there's so many founders who want to go to the United States because of the bigger market, because the founders.
But that's what we just said. I think we have better connections in Germany. Like, for instance, investors, like business angels especially, we know the market even better. I think the American market is a huge market, and it's a huge country. And especially when you start doing something with students, it's easier to, if you know the universities better, if you have the contact to students as well, who are basically your ambassadors on campuses. And we didn't have the connections in America. But we actually want to go, our plan is, so we just launched PlusPeter in Poland, Austria, and Switzerland, and our plan is definitely to go next year overseas to America.
Okay.
And adding on top of that, also the whole university structure that we have in Germany compared to the US is quite different, because there's a lot of private funded institutions that the normal universities for students, with also the fact that mostly books are used. So whenever you start a course, you get a book list. While in Germany, especially in the state-funded university, which is the majority of institutions, you get scripts. So these are the PDF documents. So the whole structure of printing was a lot more vivid in Germany than it would have been in the US. To start off with, just as Cecil just said, there are a lot more events going on. Students are a lot more prone to actually take advantage of these events, get in touch with the companies, and this is something that wasn't as evident in Germany. It's something that we decided to change with the product.
Thank you very much for all the insights, and I wish you good luck for the way back into the country where it all started.
Thank you very much.